Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the General Tire Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I would like to welcome, I guess, my co-team owner in the iRacing IRX series, Ed Carpenter, to the show. Man, what is happening, Ed?
There's been a lot going on this year with COVID and schedule changes galore in IndyCar, and in the midst of it, I kind of got back to iRacing with IndyCar iRacing Challenge, which ultimately led me into the LCQ league that ended up having me teaming with you in the Rallycross Championship. So it's been a wild ride this year.
Yeah, it definitely has been a wild ride. Had you done a lot of iRacing prior to the pandemic hitting and things like that? I know you said that's kind of what drew you back in. In previous, had you done a bunch, spent a bunch of time on the service at all?
So way back in 2010 and 11, I spent quite a bit of time on there. Had our final child in 2012, and I put the iRacing rig in the attic and brought it out of the attic when the IndyCar thing started during the pandemic. And iRacing had come a long way. My computer wasn't really powerful enough to run the graphics anymore. So I bought a new computer, and now I've basically replaced everything. So yeah, I've gotten back into it. It's been fun getting back to it. At the time when I stopped doing it, my kids were just so young, and it was hard to find time. Now that the kids are getting a little older and are more active and don't need mom and dad quite as much for everything, I've been able to get clearance from Heather to get back on the rig a little bit.
Yeah, well, and LCQ League, you guys are having a ton of fun over there. I know, it's something kind of Connor and Pastrana and those guys kind of spearheaded, but it looks like you guys, that's got to be something kind of different because you're not running against a bunch of sim pros. You guys are just a bunch of buddies out having some fun.
Yeah, the whole thing is fun, and the way we formatted it with not knowing what cars we're going to drive or what tracks we're going to go to, kind of, it takes the pressure off of everyone to go out and do any prep or any homework and just go have a good time, try to entertain, the fans from all of our backgrounds. And I think it's gone over pretty well, and hopefully it's something that we continue to do here into the future.
Yeah, well, I know now all of a sudden you've shifted not only IndyCar team owner, you're an esports team owner, man. I know you and I kind of collaborating on this IRX series, but I guess the good news is we got Connor in the top 10 to kick things off, so that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it was great. He had a good run to get into the final. It looked like Jake was on his way in a couple times in his heat in the LCQ, but it's pretty intense and aggressive racing in those cars, and weren't able to make it happen. But I think if we can put one of the four in the finals any given week, I don't think that's a terrible thing. Hopefully we can shoot towards 50% or higher moving forward. But it's a competitive series.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think just getting in that main event is going to be tougher and tougher throughout the year, but looking forward to seeing the way that plays out. But let's talk a little bit about IndyCar. We'll go back to iRacing in a minute, Matt. I know, obviously, we're another big one. We're at Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend, and in the IndyCar series, you guys are getting ready to compete. I know, practice is going on. You guys are on track? I know practice doesn't officially start yet, correct? Or you guys are on track today, right?
Yeah, we practiced right at just about an hour from now. You can catch that on NBC Gold. And then we qualify at like 6:20 tonight. So it's a long day here at the Speedway, but not complaining. The sun's shining. We've got fans here, and got a doubleheader to lead us into the weekend.
Yeah. How tough has it been on you specifically? I know it's been tough on the drivers, but you double as a driver and as a team owner. I mean, as a team owner, you've had some challenging years, but how, in the big scheme of things, how much more challenging has this year been with everything that's gone on to keep sponsors happy, drivers happy, get the team on the grid? I mean, this has been it's had to have been a stressful year for you, Ed.
Yeah, it's been tough. I've had other years that are stressful just because you're maybe having an issue or don't have enough sponsors or driver changes, this, that, or the other. But this year you're stressed and you don't even know what you're stressed about half the time. It's been tough in the sense that it's been so unpredictable. There's been, like, Mid Ohio, for example, we were racing there, and we didn't know for sure we were going till the week of the race, or because we weren't going to be able to go if we didn't have fans. So just dealing with the unknown and trying to plan for the unknown, communicate all of the unknowns to our sponsors and trying to keep them engaged. It's definitely been a challenge. I think, coming out of this year, I think it's gonna put us in a position, I think, do an even better job down the road for our partners, just because we've had to get creative and do some unorthodox things to try to deliver some value to the partners. So I think everyone's pretty eager to hopefully have a more normal 2021 and, really be able to start capitalizing on the momentum that we had coming into this year. But COVID really has made it a challenge for our entire industry, IndyCar, NASCAR, all of motorsports. It's been a challenge.
Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of one of the key points I know I've learned on the off-road side with our program, but you'd mentioned, I guess the originality we've had to get really creative, to be able to deliver, partners value. And I think the biggest thing I've taken away is I think it's actually one of the good positives that's come out of this is now us as team owners and stakeholders in some major motorsports series, things like that. Like, I feel like now we've got more arrows in our, arrows in our quiver, or however you want to put it. But I feel like we've got more ammunition, to use to help partners in the future. And I think that's probably one of the positives that has come out of this is I think we've all, I don't want to say it's going to be easier to deliver ROI, but I think we've learned that there's a lot more ways than we thought of to deliver ROI to partners.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've had to get creative. Has it been able to make up for what we've lost by not being in front of fans and, not being able to entertain, the number of guests that we normally would? The ways that we've tried to overcome that, haven't been able to make up for it, but I think that it's going to be some nice supplemental, things that we'll be able to continue to implement, when we are back to a normal schedule to go add on to the ways we've operated in the past. So it's a challenge. I can't wait to get to a regular season. It's kind of hard to still wrap my head around that we've only got 2 race weekends left here. The whole thing kind of was a blur just with how wild it's been. But looking to finish off strong. We really need the 20 car especially to finish off strong to put us in a better spot in the points for the overall IndyCar stuff, and hopefully we can make that happen. This is the Indy road course here has been a competitive track for us as a team, and we've always had fast cars at St. Petersburg as well. So hoping to be able to end the season on a high note, hopefully get one of the cars a win. If not, at least get the cars on the podium will be a big boost heading into the off season.
Yeah. Well, all that being said, heading into the offseason, looking at next year, I know one of the biggest, I guess, news bites coming out the last couple of days is the 2021 IndyCar schedule, and this looks vastly different than some of the schedules we've seen in the past. I know, ovals we're running a little bit less, which unfortunate for a driver like you who specializes in the ovals, but, doubleheader at Texas. We've got that new event in Nashville. I mean, this is, it's definitely a vastly different calendar than we've seen in the past, Ed.
It is, and unfortunately, I was expecting that a little bit with just some of the challenges that are bleeding over in the next year that we've dealt with this year. For sure, I'm bummed that there aren't more ovals on the calendar. But Indianapolis is still here, which is what gets me out of bed every morning. There are positives. Nashville is going to be a great event. We have nine of our races on NBC next season, which is a positive. But it's definitely a different look. Lost a couple venues and picked up a new one. But I know it'll be an exciting season nonetheless. But hopefully, as we move forward, we can get some more ovals back on. Definitely going to miss Iowa. In my opinion, it was probably our most exciting race of the season every year consistently. So really, really bummed to see that one go. But hopefully, we can maybe find a way to get it back on there someday.
Yeah, well, and I think there's all kinds. I know NASCAR's not going to be running there either. It's kind of a weird situation there with Iowa. But looking at the rest of this year, obviously we've got the race there at Indianapolis on the road course this weekend. Obviously, Indy as well as anybody. What's it going to take to qualify up front and put one of the cars on the box this weekend?
I think we're coming in here with a pretty good package. Connor qualified 8th when we were here early in the season. The conditions are quite a bit different. It's way cooler than it was then. We've got quite a bit more downforce. The race distances are a little different, so that'll mix up the strategy. But definitely going to need to, we need to be starting in the top 10, if not the top 6. And then I think both guys will be in good position to go out and make something happen. So we get 1 75-minute practice, and we qualify this evening for what will be qualifying for race 1, and hopefully we put ourselves in a good position. I know Connor and Renus are both feeling pretty confident with what we have here, but this is one of those races where you'll see the top 10 probably divided by a tenth of a second or less. So you really just got to nail the lap. It'll be the fast time in qualifying should be on the first lap of the red tires. So when you have that pressure of knowing your optimum lap's going to come on 1, you just really got to focus and nail that lap.
Yeah. Well, here's the question. I mean, obviously Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you specialize in ovals now. You haven't really run a lot of road courses for a few years now, but any itch when you're at Indy, you see this road course. I mean, it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You grew up around the place. I mean, is there ever any itch to jump behind the wheel at the road course there?
I get the itch all the time, but I know that I've got good guys in the cockpit, and I'm going to rely on them to go out and do a good job. Hopefully we can get a win at Indy, one way or the other. Obviously we want to win in May on the oval, but I'll take a win across the yard of bricks going the wrong direction too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Ed, it's always fun catching up. I know you guys got practice and then qualifying later today, my friend. I know obviously we'll be in touch. We got a rallycross program we got to get on top of the box this season too.
Exactly. I think I'll be on practicing for the Daytona event here the next couple of nights. So be running some of the all-star races leading into the regular championship. So looking forward to that. And, with how few ovals there are next season, I may get some more sim time in than what I even expect.